Hiya! Well, we've just been rained off. The heavens have just opened. It was great timing because we all managed to sit outside, the sun shone, even a rainbow came out, and we talked a little bit about the history of the labyrinth and introduced that to the members. Basically, a labyrinth is an ancient symbol. It looks a bit like a maze, but it's not a maze, and the difference is a maze is sort of designed to confuse. It has lots of dead ends and you get lost in it, whereas a labyrinth has one path that leads from the outer edge in a circuitous way to the centre, and it's a path that people have walked for thousands of years. Lauren Artress said actually a maze is designed for you to lose your way, but a labyrinth is designed for you to find your way, and I love that. The designs were found on pottery, tablets and tiles, and actually date back as far as like 5,000 years. Many of the patterns are based on spirals that are often mirrored in nature, which I thought was nice with the growing together, like a lot of the sort of sunflower seeds and a lot of the kind of nature patterns, and even our DNA actually is a swirl, that's that same pattern. So it really fits, even being in the garden. There seems to be a resurgence as well of late, where they're being built in places like hospices, hospitals, university. I think Edinburgh University, and there's a labyrinth there. It's been called a blueprint for well-being as well, which is another lovely idea, and it integrates the body with the mind, and the mind with the spirit, because it's the whole sort of moving experience where you're moving but you're calming the mind because you're concentrating on walking. This is what we walked today, and this is the 7-circuit classical pattern. This is a picture of one I found online. I think it's actually at a church in Glastonbury. I used like nylon rope and laid this out on the path today, so we had fun walking that. And this is one of the most ancient designs, the classical. It's actually constructed from a simple, what they call a seed pattern. So I think this is the one that I've kind of been drawn to because it is so easy to reproduce. And this is the chart labyrinth, which is an 11-circuit medieval style. And this was actually laid in the early 13th century. And it's medieval because it's in like 4 quadrants, and we're going to be doing that at the one here in Shoebury. And this was walked by pilgrims years ago, and it's a whole sort of metaphor about their journey to Jerusalem, which became dangerous in the Middle Ages for pilgrims to make that journey, and so they would stay home and actually walk the path there. This one can still be walked. I think it's actually limestone, and apparently like the paths are sort of slightly worn, just where people have walked it, for all those hundreds of years. Really it is a path. We talk there about pilgrims, but actually it's a path of welcome for those of all faiths and none. It's very sort of cross-cultural, which again is something I love about it. There's so many stories of people, finding answers as they walk, and I think just where it has that ability to kind of calm the mind. I often sort of say to people, if you've got concerns or worries, maybe bring them to mind before you walk. And people have been known to kind of have answers by the time they come back out. So I love all I love the mystery about it all. And I think in today's world and the busyness, I think it's really important to have a place and a space that feels safe and familiar, like that old familiar path that we can return to and walk. Just sort of stages of the walk, about as you walk, it's sort of being open and mindful to your experience, just to relax and to move at your own pace, and release is that sort of that sense of kind of letting go, laying whatever concerns you have and kind of laying them down as you walk, and then receive. So this is now as you're standing in the centre, And we have lovely seats in the middle of the labyrinth here, so people will actually be able to sit in the centre, and this is the place of reflection and to receive. Then as you make your journey back out, you following the same path and back out again, and sort of representative of once you've kind of received and you've let go, and then you make your journey back out again into the world with what you've experienced in the labyrinth. One of the websites is the Worldwide Labyrinth Locator. So if you are travelling, when we can travel again, if you type in where you're going, you'll be able to find if there's actually one near you, and to see if, you know, and some of them are open, free to walk. There's an artist called Mark Wallinger who's done an installation of pictures, and apparently there's one. I've seen a few of them, but I haven't seen them all. Apparently there's one at every single underground station. And this is going to be what we're building here. So it's a 5-circuit variation of the chart variation. It's 5 circuits because the path goes around the centre 5 times. And it's really not come out very clear, but I actually did a drawing to scale.